Art, I feel, is a very broad term. Sure, when one thinks of art, the usual suspects come to mind, such as photography, painting, drawing, sculpting, what have you. However, there are numerous other art forms that maybe aren't even typically classified as art, meaning there are many artists in the world that aren't even recognized. Which brings me to someone who I think is an incredible artist who practices the art of modifying cars, whose name is also, ironically, Art.
So I started modifying cars with my very first car at 16 years of age. So roughly I've been modifying cars on and off for a little over 30 years. What got me into cars was obviously getting my first car. And then, from there, I had a really good friend of mine that was 4 or 5 years older than I was, that was already started modding cars. And then he just kind of made a path for me, and I really enjoyed it. So it just started right from there. So when I had my first car, which was a Toyota Celica, got heavily involved in street racing. I didn't do a whole lot of street racing myself, but I would definitely meet every Friday night in Gardena at a place called Noggles, and just hang out there, and that's where a lot of cars would show up, and guys would talk and set races up, and we would go out, pick a spot that had a nice long straightaway to race, and everybody would line up on both sides of the street, and we would watch them race until the police showed up, and everybody would just scatter. I see it being an art form is just the same as a person that draws is an art form, because basically I look at a car that has been untouched as like a painter looks at a blank canvas. And from there you make your changes, different colors, changing wheels, changing the sound of the car, and that's I think it's relatively pretty much the same, except a paintbrush and a canvas, you're using a car, something that's mechanical. As far as time, everybody has to have a passion, right? So it just so happens that modding cars, or cars in general, has always been a passion of mine. And even though it's relatively expensive, and I've wasted a ton of money doing it, it's still something to do with your life, as a hobby, as a passion. So for me, a lot of people think it is a waste of money, but at the end of the day, it's just the enjoyment of it. For me, it's just simply something to do, a passion, and something that as I go along the modding path, it just gives me a great sense of accomplishment and gratification that it's something that I did myself. And I do most of my own work. I know a lot of people pay other people to do work, and I mean, they get gratification out of doing it that way. But for me, it's a lot more personal, because it's just doing it with my own two hands.